everyone, I'm David and I'm here to introduce you to Shadow Tactics, the board game. This is a 1 versus many stealth action game for 2 to 6 players from Antler Games, who brought you Saltlands and Critters Below. In Shadow Tactics, you play unique scenarios on different maps with various objectives and side quests. The ninjas can win these scenarios by completing their objectives, such as assassinating a target, stealing important documents, or blowing up the gates of a heavily guarded fortress. The Daimyo, on the other hand, has to stop them, overwhelm the ninjas with guards and stall the game, so they cannot reach their goal in time. In this video, we'll summarize the rules of Shadow Tactics, the board game. The game is still a work in progress, so the mechanics are still being tuned. For example, Shadow Tactics is a miniature game, so in the final version all standees will be replaced by minifigures. The board has 3 main sections: the yards, the bushes, and the junctions that connect these together. Guards like open spaces, so they are always placed on the yards. Ninjas, on the other hand, prefer shadows, so they always hide in bushes. Guards aren't the sharpest tools in the shed, so they have to divide their attention. They are either watching a yard or focused on a junction and an entrance of a bush. These are pretty much the kind of bushes you'd expect from a video game, so the guards have absolutely no idea if someone is hiding in them. Shadow Tactics is a game of wits and mind games. You constantly try to outplay your opponents and keep them guessing about your next move. First, the ninjas program their actions with various cards, but they do not execute these yet. Then it's the Daimyo's turn to intervene before the ninjas start murdering the guards. The Daimyo will now try to predict what's coming and act accordingly. So if you expect an ambush, this is the time to double the sentries in the gardens. In each turn, the ninja players queue up 2 of their action cards. Then, before anything would happen, the Daimyo plays his cards. The ninjas have to execute every programmed action, so if the Daimyo outsmarted them, they might be in big trouble. Each character in the game has a unique set of movement and action cards available to them. Green cards are hidden actions and are never spotted. Here, Takuma can always distract the spearman, luring him away from his original position. Red cards are direct actions. If a guard sees the action, he will be alerted and the ninja will be wounded. For example, Mugen's attack can succeed here, he will kill the guard. But if the Daimyo suspected this attack, he may have decided to turn this guard around. In this case, the action fails, the guard is alerted, Mugen is wounded, and the Daimyo gains a noise marker. Blue cards are stealthy actions. They are only spotted by alerted guards. In this scenario, for example, Aiko can kill this guard facing her because he is not in an alerted state. Guards become alerted if they see a direct action or if they spot a body or witness the death of another guard. Ninjas can also program cards with movement on them. Each intersection is color-coded, so in order to move through one, you'll have to use the associated card. In this example, Takuma has decided to move through this yellow intersection. Since his chosen card has a red border, the guard spots him, wounds him, and becomes alerted. The Daimyo also receives a noise marker. His movement fails, and Takuma loses this action. Here, Aiko has programmed a stealthy movement card to move through this yellow intersection. The guard does not spot the player, as he is not alerted. Ninjas cannot use their cards again until they play a reset card. As I have mentioned before, Shadow Tactics is all about the mind games. As you can see, the Daimyo is always trying to guess where the ninjas are moving, so he can watch that junction and pin them down. He's also trying to guess where the attacks are coming from, so he can turn the guards to face the bushes, so they will have a better chance of survival. Now let's talk about the cards. Each Daimyo card has 4 parts. The red side can only be used if the ninjas made so much noise with their actions that they had raised the alarm. The Daimyo can either use the top action of the card or prepare it for the next turn and play the bottom action. For example, with this symbol, the Daimyo can move any guard within its own yard, or the guard can also move to an officer in a neighboring yard, or the guard can move away from the officer to any neighboring yards. If the Daimyo prepares this card for the next turn, he can place a guard miniature instead of moving by using the bottom action. With this symbol, the Daimyo can alert other guards. An alerted guard can make another guard in the same yard also alerted. If the Daimyo prepares this order card, he is able to search the bushes with all alerted guards. In the refresh phase, all ninjas in the watched bushes will be found and wounded. But the ninjas have to be very careful, because if they make too much noise, they might raise the alarm, and the Daimyo will gain access to the more powerful half of his order cards. The alarm lasts for 2 turns unless it's raised again in these 2 turns. After the alarm is gone, the guards reset to their calm state. Ninjas have 2 or 3 health cards, and when wounded, they flip the rightmost one and suffer the penalties. Ninjas gain back their use cards and their health by using their reset cards. The game ends when the ninjas complete their objective or the time runs out. The core game consists of 2 chapters with 5 missions each, but you can choose to play these scenarios separately as well. Each mission has a main goal and some optional objectives as well. Both ninjas and the Daimyo can improve their abilities through completing optional missions. Players can also purchase various cards to make their characters stronger. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them in the comments below. We do our best to answer all of them. If you like the game, please consider backing it on Kickstarter. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.